Alright. Want to say Kal. Want to say Kal Halal Yamla Abanawa Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Harakapadash. Double honors be to the apostles, Wazakwanya of Great Millstone to rule well. And shalom to the sincere brethren Akim out there across the four winds, the four corners of the globe, pushing this word, this good news, this gospel of Yahweh Shai, proclaiming salvation to the elect of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and proclaiming the downfall of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. You understand? Hey, so Jake don't get it, man. Babylon is falling, man, and Jake is trusting in Babylon, man. Jake is all bent out a place when he don't get no justice here in Babylon. You understand? When he gets shot down in the street, when he get do wrong by this system, he still flabbergasted as to why this is happening. You know what I mean? Jake is still lost, man. The majority of Jake, man. You understand? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 31. Verse 1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. Kind of, this is modern day Egypt, man. Which Egypt was a place where the Israelites served bondage, man, for 400 years, man. And now wait, this is in the modern day Egypt, man. You know what I mean? Where we in bondage for 500 plus years, you understand? So woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. Kind of, that's Jake, man. Jake trusted in Babylon, man. Which America is the modern day Egypt, modern day Babylon, man. You understand? Jake trusted in the system, trusted in the Constitution. You understand? Which is totally bugged out. Because when the Constitution was formatted, man, was formed, you was in chattel slavery. You was picking cotton, you was picking tobacco. You understand? You was planting rice for you Judites, you Jakes here in America. You understand? Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because there are many. So they trust in the power system of this so-called white man, man. They trust in the judicial system. They trust in voting. You know what I mean? Just totally bugged down, man. In 2020, a Negro still gonna talk about vote, man. You simple minded, you niggas, man. Especially you black celebrities, man. Talking about, yeah, we know the Power Act, man. We gotta vote, man. That voting is real. Man, are you simple-minded niggas, man? You can't point me to one people across any country, across any place in the globe that has ever voted their way out of oppression, man. That's impossible. You cannot vote your way out of oppression, man. You know what I mean? In order to get out of oppression, war and bloodshed has to take place, you understand? Because they are many and in horsemen, because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. So Jake ain't seeking the Lord, man. Jake seeking after guns. Jake seeking after buying land. You know what I mean? Jake seeking after the black woman, you understand? Empowering the black woman. Jake seeking after after being a coon for the so-called white man, you understand? Selling out to the so-called white man. Jake seeking after a FRN note, the money, you understand? Jake is totally gone, man. He's seeking not after the scriptures, man. You know what I mean? You tell them about the scriptures, hey, they're going to look at you bugged out. You know what I mean? They're going to burn you up, man. They're going to be like, they don't want to hear that Bible stuff, man. You understand? You go to one of these Black Lives Matter protests, one of these Jake get-togethers, and you talk about the Bible, man, hey, they're going to run you, man. Because the Bible is the antithesis to their movement, man. That's why their movement supports homosexuality, so-called transgenderism, women over men. Just everything in contradiction to the Bible, man. You understand? I'll jump down to verse 3. Now the Egyptians are men and not God. Can't say the Egyptians, man. Who's the modern day Egyptians? The so-called white man. Hey, they in the Most High, man. They in the final say. You understand? But Jake look into the system for that final say. And every time they get back a verdict, a so-called Edomite, a so-called white man, an Edomite kill a Jake, wrong a Jake, which has been going on forever, 500 plus years now. They look into the system to give them justice, to give them due recompense, man. So you trust in the Egyptians, man, the so-called white man, the modern day Egyptians, and their horse's flesh and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, but he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they shall fall together. So you hand joining hand with the so-called white man, hey, you gonna fall with him, man. You know what I mean? You seeking after the white man for help. You know what I mean? Hey, both of y'all gonna come down together, man, in these last days, man. You understand? You're gonna be destroyed with Babylon the Great. You understand? You trusting in the Constitution. You trusting in the capitalism. You know what I mean? You trusting in this so-called white man's money system, the US dollar, the euro, the pound. Hey, you're going to be messed up in these last days. This is the book of Proverbs chapter 11 verse 21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished. And that's you jakes, man. You join hand in hand with the system. You trusting in the system, man. Talking about going to court, you know what I mean? The judicial process. All of this madness, the Supreme Court justice, all of this madness, you understand? Which these things are not set up for the benefit of you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. This system is set up to oppress you, to keep you as second-class citizens. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished, shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. Kind of who's the seed of the righteous? The Israelites, man, the elect, of which we are hopeful members of that number, man. You understand? So you have Jake, and it's the same thing with the Northern Kingdom too, man, of which I'm about to get into, man. One moment. Yeah, because it's the same thing with Ephraim, man. You understand? This is the book of Hosea. Because Ephraim, the Northern Kingdom, they trust in the system just like Judah. You so-called blacks, West Indians, and Haitians trust in the system. Same thing with you Northern Kingdom, man. You understand? This is the book of Hosea, chapter 9, verse 13. Ephraim, as I saw Tyrus is planted in a pleasant place, man. Because Ephraim, man, in these latter days, Ephraim is done away in Puerto Rico, man. You understand? The tribe of Ephraim, man. And which the whole Northern Kingdom, man, they dwell in pleasant places, man. You have, like, the island of Puerto Rico is a pleasant place. You have Mexico. All of these are tropical paradises, man. So-called. It's planted in a pleasant place, but Ephraim shall bring forth his children to the murderer. Come, so all you, hey, that's why there's more Puerto Ricans, man, in the United States, in the mainland United States, because Puerto Rico is part of the United States, man. You know what I mean? Just like Virgin Islands too, part of the United States. But hey, man, they're not part of the mainland, the U.S. territories, you understand? So what? Puerto Ricans, hey, they bring forth their children to the murderer, man. That's why there's more Puerto Ricans here in the immediate United States than there are in Puerto Rico, you understand? When you check out the population distribution, man. And that shows you, man, the scriptures coming to pass, man. Ephraim, but Ephraim shall bring forth his children to the murderer, man. Who's the murderer? The so-called white man, man. I mean, that's why, hey, when Ephraim came up here to America, man, they catching nothing but hell, man. They in the Bronx, South Bronx catching hell. They in East Harlem, Spanish Harlem catching hell. Right along with their brother, Judah. You understand? They in Brooklyn catching hell. You know what I mean? They in Chicago catching hell. Same way. You know what I mean? Because these are hot spots of the tribe of Ephraim, so-called Puerto Ricans, man. So they catching hell, man. They in the ghettos and the slums. And when you check out the statistics, Ephraim is one of the lowest socioeconomic people here in America, man. You know what I mean? They have top prison rates, man. Incarceration rates. They all jacked up, man. You understand? They thinking they coming up to America in the 40s and the 50s to get a better life, man. Nah, the white man said, nah, man. You going in the ghetto and the slums with your brother Judah. You understand? And it's the same thing for the whole Northern Kingdom, same way, man. You have the Mexicans coming up, which Trump jacking them up, man. You know what I mean? Deporting them, separating the families. You understand? You have a whole heap of Mexicans in prisons, man. That's why you have all these different gangs. The Mexican family. Also the Soreños, the Norteños, especially over there in the West Coast. Just catching hell, man. Getting shot down by the police. You understand? So, hey, man, all the tribes are catching hell, man. Ain't none of the tribes escape this captivity, man. You understand? But, hey, Jake still want to trust in America, man. The Southern Kingdom still want to trust in America. The Northern Kingdom still want to trust in America. You have AOC, you know what I mean, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, man. The Ephraimite lady, the Ephraimite young woman who represents some of the Bronx and Queens. Hey, man, she talking about voting, man. Talking about you go check your registration, you know what I mean? You gotta vote, you know what I mean? All of this madness, man. Still talking about voting in 2020. Still talking about trusting in this system in 2020, man. You just don't get it. That this system is not meant for you, man. This is not your rest, man. This is the book of Sirach. Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Come, and that's what Jake failed to understand, man. Never trust thine enemy. And who's the main enemy? Esau Edom, man. Because just like iron will surely rust, amen, so is Esau Edom wickedness going to show forth. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away. And that's what Jake is realizing, man, in 2020, man. Jake thought when racism was over in 1968 was the passing of the civil rights movement. Nah, no way was it. So-called racism and the hatred of the Israelite man is still here and present, man, more than ever. You understand? Set him not by thee, lest when he had overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Can't say, hey man, that's what happened to Jake, man. Jake trusted in this white man, man. You have the natives of the Americas trusted the white man, and what he overtook them. You have Jake in Europe, West Africa, you know what I mean? Trusted the white man, man. And what he overtook them, man. Led them into captivity, you understand? And to this day, Jake still trusting the white man. That's why Jake is always being discriminated, man, being oppressed. Because Jake trusting his so-called white man system, and then hey, it's a vicious cycle for Jake, man. You get chewed up and spit back out. You understand? Probably close it up on this precept right here. This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. This is not your rest, man. This is not your empire. This is not for you to establish a great enterprise here in Babylon, man. You know what I mean? You just get what you get, man. Get what Yahweh Hashem Yahushua allows you to get. But hey, don't look to build up, you know what I mean, Blackwash and all this other things here now, man. As you can see, all these things came up to no avail. You understand? You know what I mean? Because this is not your rest. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you. And so this land is greatly polluted. The land itself, the culture, the society, the economics, the dealings, you know what I mean? Everything about this land is defiled, man. Spiritually, physically, mentally, socially defiled, polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sword destruction. And if you uphold this society, man, what is going to be the ultimate fate? You're going to be destroyed in this thermonuclear destruction. You understand? Because that thermonuclear destruction is coming to the land of America to wipe it out. You understand? And if you trust in this society, hey, you're not part of the elect because you trust in the beast. You will take the mark of the beast. You know what I mean? You're going to get down with the new world order. So, hey, you're going to be destroyed with this system, man. And that's the majority of you jakes, man. You know what I mean? You want to vote. You know what I mean? You want to trust in the Democratic Party, the Republican Party. Hey, man. You done, man. You better get out of that mind state. You know what I mean? Of which a lot of jakes is waking up the same way. But hey, man, there's only a remnant that are going to wake up to the truth of Yahweh Shai and come back in truth and sincerity and in repentance. You understand? Hey, but with that, I'm going to say, Kal Halal Yamla, Abanawa, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Harakak Dash. Double honors be to the apostles of Zaquanium, of greatness and removal, and shalom to the sincere brethren, Akiak, Wa Akim, out there across the four winds of the earth. Pushing this word in truth and sincerity. Shalom.